Well, today we're talking about wealth principle 31. The answer to all your problems in life is to simply go for no. Now, what that means, we're going to talk about in a little bit, but what that means for you and why it's so important is maybe the things that you're looking for are actually easier to get, but you've been looking for yeses. And the world is very confusing because most people are going to tell you no. True or true? Show of hands if you've been told no before by somebody when asking for something you want. Yes. So it's very common to hear no's, but the yeses are a little more rare. Unfortunately, people go for yes all the time in their life. When they're seeking out more money, if they ask their boss and the boss says no, they stop there. If they're looking to have a property purchased in their name, get their name on the deed, and somebody says no, they assume that it's just that deal is dead. And they go for the next yes, go for the next yes. And before you know it, this person has lost all motivation. Who here has gotten tired of hearing no? It beats you down, it beats you up. We're going to do today a little exercise. We're going to use Doug McGurk and his skills as an NLP practitioner, master NLP practitioner, to help you pull out of your brain the desire to hear the word yes and shift it. Imagine this with a word that's more common, a word that is around you all the time, the word no. Imagine if you were inspired by a word that you saw all the time. Show of hands if you'd be more inspired if you saw it more often. It's about changing the mindset. If we can change what's already happening, the input, we can't change. We can't change what the world's going to give you. The world will always operate the way it does. We can't get sad when it rains. Show of hands if you've ever been wet in the rain, and it's annoying, right? You see it, it's like, shit, that's annoying. But imagine if you were a farmer and you needed rain to get on your crops. If that was possibly a thing in your world, a reality for you, the rain would suddenly be a good thing. Show of hands if that's true. If a person, so that we know exists, there are people out there who see the rain as a positive thing, even though the majority of the planet sees the rain as a negative. So today we're going to talk about how we can get more money in our pockets today, instantly, by the way, not tomorrow, not next week, not a year from now, because we're going to talk about selling. We're going to talk about something that's a dirty topic, by the way. I just said a word that many people's ears were just like, no, I don't want to hear the word sales. I'm not a salesperson. I don't like selling. I'll never sell because salespeople suck. They're sleazy. They're nasty. They're just trying to take advantage of people. Show of hands if you've been sold to by somebody who is not a good salesperson. And it was annoying and it sucked. It was frustrating. My solution is don't be one of them. Learn how to sell properly. Learn how to be a decent salesperson. Brian Schilling has a training right now that's been running for Alchemist Nation members to learn how to sell ethically, to learn how to sell morally, to learn how to sell in an engaging manner that actually makes you bring value to the person, where you actually have a good relationship versus a bad relationship. Show of hands if you're tired of transactional people. Just they want something from you and then they're gone. They want something from you and then they're gone. It's better to build relationships. So one of these things we're going to talk about today is actually selling a business. The most valuable asset that you can build in your life is your business. And we're going to talk about how to sell a business, how to prepare your business for sale, because one of the wealth principles coming up is you start your business to build your business and sell it. Wealth principle 33. If you haven't already done this with us before in the past, I'll tease out the wealth principle 33 is 2 principles away. And it's probably going to happen next week, because next week's wealth principle is supposed to be wealth principle 32. The point is not to work, it's to generate income. We're going to go deep into the book behind you, behind me, Broke to a Quarter Million. And then we're going to shift into 2 wealth principles in the same week. If you've been on this journey with us, you understand normally this takes 52 weeks to get through. But because this year we're making very special change, this year we're going to the 100 Millionaire Summit with Wealth Principle 52 in mind. If you've been with us long enough, you understand that Wealth Principle 52 is the most powerful of all the wealth principles. It is the one that states, sharpen the saw. Show of hands if you've heard of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. Fantastic book. And it's the final principle that he put in his book. So it's the final principle we've put into the 52 Weeks to Wealth as well. 52 is sharpen the saw. At the end of the year, we sharpen the saw. Now, our year ends in November. It doesn't end in December, because you're an alchemist. You're looking to hit January already running. None of those New Year's resolutions. Through December, through November, you're already working 2 months into the future. Show of hands if you have every intention of becoming a millionaire or doubling your net worth if you're already a millionaire, or becoming a pentamillionaire, that's 5 millions, catch up to me, or decamillionaire, that's where I'm hunting this year. So if you're looking to increase your net worth, you're going to have to change things, and probably waiting for January 1st is not the way to go. Show of hands if you've set your goals before January 1st in the past before. Absolutely. And the times that you've done that, you just seem to cruise right past all the people who are starting their goals. because you started earlier. You had a little bit of time, intention put into it. So the 52 Weeks to Wealth this year, Wealth Principle 52, we're going to actually be in Orlando. It's going to be live. It will not be streamed. It will be live at the event for 3 days. 80-20 rule. 80% of your time, the rest of the year, is going to be doing work. In fact, we're going to do 80-20 to 80-20. Who here knows Pareto's principle? All right. So imagine 80-20 of 80-20 now puts you at 4%. And 80-20 of 4% puts you at 1%. So if you look at what is the 1% of a year, 365 days, well, that's 3.5 days. Well, that's what the 100 Millionaire Summit is in Orlando. From November 3rd to the 5th, we're going to spend 3.5 days together. We're going to work on your business plan. We're going to dial it in to be $1 million business plan, or for our existing millionaires, we're going to go for a multi-millionaire business plan. We're going to sign the millionaire contract, which states that you will do whatever it takes to reach your goals, as long as it's moral, ethical, and legal. Show of hands if you understand everything must be done morally, ethically, and legally if we're going to be in business for the long term. Yes, a very smart room. This is why we do business together. And we're going to focus on how we build 100 millionaires. Many of us are in real estate. Many of us are business and real estate professionals. Show of hands if you are in real estate or you serve real estate investors at some level. Excellent. So we're going to talk about how to build 100 millionaires around you so that, well, maybe you become a millionaire or multi-millionaire. I found in my personal business, by building millionaires, it's helped me get to a whole other level. Now I have mentors, I have people who passively invest in my business, I have access to deals, and I have people who are doing the work still. So fans, if you understand, that's what it takes to become a multimillionaire. Other people just around you, just a great network of other people. So this principle, I'm going to gear it towards the idea of selling your business. I want you to start thinking about selling in your business, teaching people how to sell in your business, and then eventually selling your business, prepping your business for sale. And the strategy we're going to use is the word no. It's a 2-letter word. It's not a very big word. And you've heard it your entire life. I want you to shift the mindset around it using Doug's hypnosis that we're going to do a little. By the way, if you're afraid of hypnosis, now's the time to log off. If you're driving, now's the time to recognize when we start talking about guided meditation, you keep your eyes on the damn road. I need you alive to go and help more people. Show of hands if you understand the commitment to help others. You must take care of yourself. So if you're driving, you're not allowed to do this with us. I need you to keep your eyes on the road. You can, it is recorded, it's streamed on Facebook, it's streamed on YouTube. So you can always go back and watch it later. And I strongly suggest that many of you go and do that anyway, especially if you're in a space where you didn't get a chance to really spend that time. So the word no is a word that is universal in every single language. In some languages, it's a little longer than no. In, I think, German, it's 9. And in Portuguese, it's still no. It's no is in Spanish, is no, is no, is no. It's a word that we know in every single language for one universal truth. You're not getting what you want. The word no means lack of results. The word no means opposite of desire. The word no can mean that you are going to be in pain for a little bit longer, some sort of pain, physical pain, emotional pain, or a spiritual pain. The word no has been embedded into your body over your entire lifetime. And it's probably been embedded for centuries just in our wiring and DNA. Show of hands if you'd like to rewire that today, if you're open to rewiring it so it becomes empowering, because you're not getting away from no. All right, so we will do that today. Before we do, I want to teach you 6 steps for leveraging Wealth Principle 32, the Go for No principle, to sell a business. And if you are in your mind somehow believing you don't own a business, 1, you should own a business. And 2, if you're a real estate investor, you do actually own a business. And at some point, you're going to have to sell because you can't take it with you. Show of hands if you recognize once you die, it's not with you. It still stays here. Somebody else owns it. So you're what my mentor calls a steward of real estate. We are simply stewards of real estate. We own it for some time, and then we're done with it. Ron and I built a nice portfolio, and now we're selling our portfolio. We're transitioning it into cash, and we're shifting that cash into loans that we're putting out. In fact, I think we just wrote a $100,000 loan for my brother at 14% interest because I love my brother. And he had that loan with somebody else. And he was like, look, bro, I would much rather pay you 14% than somebody else. And I told him, I would much rather take 14% from you than somebody else. I want to know that I'm doing you a favor. And if I'm going to take somebody's money, it feels good knowing that I'm kind of keeping it in the family and doing that servitude. We've also done loans with other people. We've done loans with people in Alchemist Nation, and we continue to lend and we continue to help because it moves people forward. Now, also, selfishly, it moves our lives forward. Ron and I don't have to work for that money. Show of hands if you understand. That's like $1,100 a month that comes in every month that we don't have to fight for. We don't have to work for. There's no tenants involved. So we're transitioning our wealth into things that make our lives a lot easier. The reason you build a business to sell a business, which is wealth principle 33, is so that you don't have to do the work anymore. And so that you don't have to like be the little person working. Show of hands if you're tired of working for your money. If you'd like to have money work for you, like to play this game at a different level, you realize that it is possible. Show hands if you do, you know other people who are living and they have the money working for them. Excellent. Give yourselves a round of applause. You might be hanging around with millionaires. You might have some opportunities in your life right now just from those relationships. So wealth principle 31 is when going for sales goals, go for no. And I'm going to give you 6 steps. By the way, this is also valuable if you're working with people who own businesses, or you're working with people who own large amounts of real estate and they don't understand or grasp what needs to be happening for them in their life right now in order to level up to get to the next level. So principle 31, let me know if you can see it on the screen. You should see wealth principle 31. Give me a thumbs up. Excellent. Awesome. So when going for no, when setting sales goals, go for no. This also means that if you call 100 people and you get a yes, you don't stop. You go for the calling of 100 people. If you get 20 no's, 30 no's, you count and you gauge off of the no's. So instead of saying, I'm going to call 100 people, instead, you say, I'm going to get 20 no's. And if you get those 20 no's, you can end. Even if you get 3 yeses, you still continue. So these are 6 steps for selling your business. And keep in mind, this is also for selling your real estate. Keep in mind, this is also for selling somebody else's real estate. And Ron and I have been doing a lot of this very recently. So if you're a realtor, you're going to recognize a lot of these in the real estate side. And if you're a business broker, you're going to recognize a lot of these. So, but please do not dismiss anything you recognize because it may be valuable to somebody else. Show of hands if you understand, we're here to more than just get our own information. We're here to serve as well. So step number 1, get a professional valuation. We all keep our own personal logs of what our value is in our businesses, but they're not always accurate. Here's what I'll tell you. I was like, that building worth $1 million, Ron. Put it on the spreadsheet as worth $1 million. And the building got appraised at 850. So there it is. Not always accurate. And those things only come from professionals. Show of hands if you understand how this works. You got part of the game, right? Step 2, organize your financials. This bothers me so much when we go to buy a property from somebody. And it bothers other buyers when they come to buy from you, or they go to buy from your client, or they go to purchase. When you're like, please give me the T12. And T12, if you're not familiar with in real estate, is your trailing 12. It's the last 12 months of business expenses and income. And we usually will ask for a T12 when we go to acquire a larger property. But if I'm acquiring something from a mom and pop, they usually don't have a T12 because, they just kind of like took in expenses and they paid bills all from the same, their personal account that they bought eggs with. Show of hands if you understand, mom and pops are like the worst with their numbers, but they're usually the best deals because they can't actually justify anything and you're able to come back with that. So organize your financials when you sell your business so you don't get taken advantage of. Show of hands if you understand. My high net worth individuals who are, by the way, if you don't have a high net worth, this is how you get one. Keep an eye on your financials. Keep growing, keep expanding, keep looking for the money. All right, so keep it together. I usually recommend a bookkeeper. You need one. They're really important because they're cheap. It's like super cheap to have a bookkeeper, but the amount of money you save and the amount of time you save is just worth so much. Number 3, increase your sales. Increase your sales. If you're a rental property owner, increase the amount of money you're making on your tenants, fill all your vacancies, make sure your occupancy gets to 100% or as close as you can to bigger buildings. 95% is still really good. If you're a business like Melanie does Subways, she owns a bunch of Subways, then she has to increase sandwiches sold in that restaurant or price of sandwiches. Increase your sales because it makes your valuation go up. In real estate, if I increase my NOI by $20,000, I could be increasing the entire valuation of the building by hundreds of thousands of dollars. Show of hands if you like that idea. All you do is raise rents, increase value. So step 3 for selling your business, make sure that you do this. And step 4, time your exit. Time your exit. It is so important to make sure that you're not doing it at the end of the year. Because if you get a massive gain at the end of the year, it doesn't give you time to go and claim a loss. It doesn't give you time to go and acquire the next property or the next asset that could have a loss on it, to depreciate the next asset. So make sure that you're timing your exit in such a way that you don't get too big of a gain at the end of the year, because you're going to have to hide that somehow from the government. Otherwise, that year gets locked in and you're stuck. Ron and I have taken in a gain of, I want to say we're somewhere around $1.7 million already 6 months into the year. That's perfect execution. It doesn't always work out that way, but that is perfect execution, where we now have the next 6 months to acquire something to lose money on. Or, as he and I have decided, we're going to go and borrow money, and then we're going to lend. We're not going to lend. We're going to go invest in Alchemist Nation and expand our locations. So this year, you're going to watch Alchemist Nation go from 40 locations to 300 locations, because we have a big gain that we've got to go and now combat. Show fans if investing in your business is a good idea, no matter what. No matter what. But if it's going to save you on taxes, you might as well go and do it. So step 4, time your exit in such a way that allows you not to have to pay the gain, gives you time to buy out your next opportunity. Or line up your purchase and your sale and your loss all together at the same time. Just time your exit. Don't do it just because you're frustrated. That's my biggest lesson with step 4. Number 5, find a third-party business broker. In our case, in real estate, we use agents. I'm not the agent on my deals, even though I'm licensed. Ron is not the agent on our deals, even though he's licensed. We use an expert, somebody who's a third-party broker, so that they can kind of be in between us in the negotiations. It also allows us to stay focused on increasing sales, increasing the property, fixing things so that the value of the building stays up there. Show of hands if you understand. Let somebody else sell the property for you. It keeps you out of the negotiations. Step 6, qualify your buyers. Qualify your potential buyers, because if you do not, you may get tied up in a deal that is supposed to sell, and then 30 days goes by and it doesn't sell. Then 60 days goes by and it doesn't sell. And 90 days goes by and it doesn't sell, and then it falls apart, and then you got to market it again at the wrong time of the year. And so timing your sale didn't work out. Show of hands if we understand qualify potential buyers, step 6. So when we're out there operating and somebody says, oh no, we can't do that, I don't care. I do not care if you think we can't do that. I will go find a professional who says it is possible, who says we're going to go for the right person. We're going to put the right deal in place. We're going to get the contractor who says the right quote and actually can do the right project. Show of hands if you understand, people mess this up all the time because they're going for yes. Oh, can you do it? Yes, I can do it. Oh, good enough. Can you do it within the price range I'm looking for? No, I can't. Excellent. How can we get there? How can we get there? How can we get there? Go for the no's as many times as you can until you get the yes that you're looking for in all aspects of sales. No matter where you're going, count the no as a positive thing. Doug, I know that I've given information on why no should be yeses, like no should be better than yeses, but as you've discovered in your time with Tony Robbins, touring the country and serving as a coach for the last for those 3 years, and obviously building your own coaching company and going through the mindset with millionaires and like showing them how to improve their lives, that it doesn't seem to matter how much logical information a person gets emotionally. There's still something in there that holds them back, that stops a person from being who they belong being, to getting to that next level. Show of hands if you've experienced this in your own life. Great knowledge, you've read the book, you got this great course, and then something emotionally was holding you back. We believe in unfair advantages. Show of hands if you also believe in unfair advantages and like beating the system a little bit, like thinking outside the matrix. Just if there's a cheat code, let's use those cheat codes as long as they're moral, ethical, and legal. And I believe that working on your own brain, as long as it's a positive impact that you could have on yourself and others, is safe to do. So with that being said, let's get Doug McGurk on here. Doug, let's give him a big round of applause. Doug, the Maximizer McGurk, let's get some action steps that we can apply this week. Actually, today.
Yeah, today now. So one of the things, well, first let me change this. Is this on here? No. All right. All right, here we go. Are we in make it like this, so the speaker view, so you can see my camera is actually a whiteboard. So make that your speaker view. Everyone got that? So you can see this good? All right. So before I was going to, do a quick close dive, but I want to dive in a little deeper and let's do some brain hacking. Would that be okay?
Yeah, man. Let's rock.
Good. So what Walter's talking about, how many agree with what Walter's saying? Let me actually put this back for now. Let me see if I put my camera back on. All right, let's see if this works. There we go. All right, so forgive the lines. I got to figure that out in my out of focus. Woo. So you all agree with Galter that what he's sharing is sound and makes sense to us all, yes? All right. So what he's really talking about is our relationship with no, right? Well, how many of y'all feel like, yes, let's go get a no. I can't wait to be rejected. All right, so we have one hand up. Okay, very nice, very nice. All right, two, Brian and Justin. All right, and Miles. Okay, so you say that, and there's still some other stuff in there. How many of y'all could also relate to, even if you go for no already, that you do have some hangups around it, and it feels a bit like failure, right? You've offered something, and then they said no. It's rejection. It's failure. They don't like me. They don't, right? So we have this experience around that. So what I want to share with you quickly is just a little bit of a mind hack to help you get around that idea. So there we go. All right. So what I'd like you to do is play along. We don't have time to demonstrate this, but I'm going to give you a high level because you're all brilliant minds, brilliant thinkers. You're here, so obviously you are brilliant. We're going to look at our experience and relationship with failure, because that's what no is. It's a failure, right? Doesn't that? We could all agree that that's the feeling. All right. So here's what we do. We've got this experience of whatever it is. So let's use, for your example, whatever it is you are good at. Think of something that you're already good at. Okay. So now we have these two experiences. We have what not to do and what to do in order to be successful. Now, here's my hallucination, and correct me if I'm wrong. We learn from basically three areas, right? We learn from school, right? Like, so some of you are taking a course here, right? And so that's education. Some of us, so we have our school education, traditional or some form of education like that. Then we have our own mistakes, and then we have other people's mistakes. Now, how many of y'all appreciate when someone shares a story about what, like when you come to the summit, you're going to hear some people share some stories. You're going to hear people share, I did this and this is what happened. And then you go, aha, don't do that. Right. I mean, right. So we have that. But also, how many of y'all, and I was watching Star Wars the other day, and Yoda said to Luke, basically, failure is the best teacher. Failure is the best teacher. So let's look at that. So we have things of what not to do. And then the question I would have you ask is, of the things you were not to do, the three things that you learned what not to do, you learned from school. And generally speaking, when someone says, oh, I learned from school what not to do, I learned, well, I don't know, maybe 10%, right? Because not a lot, because we really found that if you're entrepreneurs, you went out there and then you were successful because you went out and did it. And you go, you know what? I didn't learn a whole lot from school. And they say, okay, well, how much did you learn from other people's mistakes? And you go, well, I probably maybe 30% of other people's mistakes. And I go, well, how much did you learn from your own mistakes? And you go, well, I learned from, well, maybe another 40% from other people's mistakes. And then you probably say roughly about the same thing in the what to do. So it turns out that almost all of the time you were failing in order to be successful. That the only way you're going to succeed, the only way you're going to get anything done is by putting yourself out there and getting that no, because it is a necessary part of our experience. Oops, wrong camera.
I like where you're going with this, Doug.
So how many of y'all, if you're honest, if you were to really look back at your successes in life, that the only way you succeeded was by screwing up or being around other people that said, right? So what does the no also get you? When someone says no,
Lessons.
give you lessons. It gives you feedback.
Motivation.
And it's a motivation, right? But it'll also give you some feedback, right? You go, aha, okay, what if we take personal responsibility? And if you've been part of this training, if you've been part of Alchemist Nation, you've been learning that we take 100% responsibility of our actions, of our behaviors. And if something's not working, then we look to evaluate, to adjust and go, oh, okay, that I see that didn't work. Now, here's the thing. We're dealing with people. Why do we teach the psychology of sales? Why do we teach like the DISC profile? Or why do we teach 6 needs? Or why do we teach all of these things so that we can move the needle so that when we get that no, we could then look back and go, oh, what did I not hit on? What did I not provide enough certainty? Did I not provide enough significance? Did I make it all about me instead of all about them? Did I not show up as my absolute best to be able to give them what they needed in order to say yes? Because no's are generally not no forever. They're not yet, or they're I need more info, or I'm not comfortable yet. I don't feel the rapport. But studies have shown that I think it's over 90% of salespeople give up after the first no. Now, in marketing terms, at this stage, it's about 17 or 18 touches before someone takes action. So what does that mean? It means that someone said no 16 or 17 times before they took action, whether it be to buy, to click, to whatever it is. But they said no 17 times. But the people who do that, they don't know. Like, they look at the numbers and they go, okay, that was the read through, that was the click, and they're just going, it's a numbers game, and they're okay with it. So what if we could look at this as a numbers game and go for as many no's as possible? Making sense? All right. And I don't know, Walter, do we have enough time for a quick?
You got 30 seconds.
Then
So.
I do not have time. So the good news is it's pretty much done. So I'm gonna send over to Walter the info and the link to the hypnosis series, which has at this point about 11 or 12 tracks in there, and there's still another 3 more or so to be added to it. But all of this is covered in there. And if you're looking to dive deeper into your other than conscious mind so that we are able to experience extraordinary success, then that is for you. And that's all I have to say about that.
Let's give Doug a round of applause. So the mindset shift, obviously we use hypnosis a lot. I believe in taking advantage of things that make you more successful. Many people who use hypnosis do it at night, right? I've got these soft headphones that Dorina can't hear anything that I'm involved with in my own head. So I will listen to those headphones at night and go through a hypnosis session that will just make me either more positive, more proactive, or in a situation like this, the word no is like a positive thing. And we move forward towards success because of the way we've reprogrammed our minds. So Doug's going to send me that link. I'll make sure that I get that probably posted on Alchemist Nation. And the action step that I want you to do this week is we're going to write down very quickly, what is a thing that would change your life that you're afraid to ask for? A thing that would change your life that you're afraid to ask for. Probably a person already has it. You can probably already visualize in your head a person who has that thing. So write down that person's name, or if you're ballsy enough, pull up your phone and text them this thing right now. But write down the thing and the person and say, okay, I'm going to ask this person anyway. I'm just going to shoot the text off, or I'm just going to schedule a call and make the call and have that conversation, regardless of whether it goes positive or negative, because we don't care. Show of hands if you can understand the change in your life this could create. No matter what level you are, by the way, millionaire, multimillionaire, decamillionaire, pentamillionaire, 100 millionaire, does not matter. Every one of us has a wall. Every one of us has a thing that we know, if we make that call, if we make that one text, we make that one ask, that if they said no, we would now know one more thing. We would now understand what it was they said no for. We could ask, why did you say no? I get asked all the time, by the way. I literally get asked all the time for deals I will never invest in, but people are asking me for deals like, hey, will you invest in my deal? Will you give me money for this deal? Will you be a part of this deal? Will you manage this deal? Whatever. Thousands of texts go through, and I'm getting invited to all sorts of deals that I have to say no to. But the fact that they asked me gave them education, let them know a little bit more about me and my criteria. And I always respond back with, hey, this is what you did wrong here. Or this is what I would suggest. This is the type of person that's be interested in. Maybe I make a connection to them to go somewhere else. Also, do not send me messages in the DM. I do not watch it anymore because I do not have time to watch it because I'm out here serving you at a higher level. Show fans, if you understand why I don't do the DM anymore. And if you put it in the comments, I can help more people. If you post your questions, post your asks, post your inquiries, post your shares, your wins. By the way, I love hearing your wins. I love hearing your successes. Post them in the comments. Tag me in a win that you've had so that I can come and I can see it. I do watch my comments page and I do watch my feed. I just don't have time to be in the DM because it doesn't serve other people. It's very selfish of you to send me a message in the DM. Show of hands, we understand what I'm talking about. Excellent. So put it out in the comments. And by the way, there's no question you could ever ask, ever, that would bother or hurt you in any way. It would only positively affect you. I do the same thing with Grant Cardone. I ask questions on threads now. I'm on threads. And I'm asking Alex Hormozy questions. I'm asking Grant Cardone questions in the comments out of respect for them because I know they don't check the DMs either. I know it's impossible. There's no way. So fans, if you understand, go for no with your questions. Reach up, ask them. Just go for no. Like ask. Do it publicly. Do it publicly because it may create content for these folks. It may create something that they actually want to engage with. And the book of the week, since Mitch Jorsky has not read it, and since Michael Shine is not here, I do not know if Kevin Pereira is still here. Has anybody read this book, Go for No? Has anybody read this book? If you have not, then I will share why this book is so good. We give this to all of our sales team. Everybody, well, actually in the past, so the new sales team hasn't gotten this book. So that's a suggestion I'm going to give Brian literally right now, is get them this book because Go for No changed my life, made me a killer salesperson because I went and I said, every time I pick up the phone, I'm going for 20 no's today. I didn't say I'm making 200 calls. I said I'm going for 20 no's. And what would happen is other people, other agents or other wholesalers would go and they'd get yes number one and they'd stop. They'd go and get like peanut butter, Reese's peanut butter, and they'd celebrate. They'd drink their milk. They'd be happy. They had their comfort food. Show of hands if you know exactly what I'm talking about. That little win, you go and like treat yourself after a win. Not me. I had to go for 20 no's and I would end up with 3 appointments instead of 1. I would end up with 3 opportunities to be at a person's house that day. And I'd only spend 3 hours on the call. And we used to do these calls live, just like this. I'd be on the call and I'd be right there talking Portuguese to old ladies. I'd be like, hey, can I come see your house? And they'd say yes, right on the phone. And I had my whole tribe out there. It was a wholesaling boot camp. And Elizabeth Miller ran it for me. Kevin Pereira ran it for me after I had finished up with it myself. They would sit there on the call and like the whole tribe be out there calling together at the same time, cold calling, using dialers like Mojo or call tools. And we were crushing the game as a team, working together, going for no. We actually, as a tribe, got very excited about the concept of no. Show of hands if you could do the same thing in your life. Imagine how unstoppable you would be. And we didn't say, let's go for a couple no's. Like I said, we were calling 100 people an hour because we were using power dialers. We'd load the system up and we pay the $97 a month to have Mojo or Call Tools or Zen Dialer. And we would just let the phone ring for us. We would just sit there and just answer when it picked up, drop the voicemail when it didn't pick up. And that speed to know, that speed, the velocity of no's is what made us so successful and helped us find so many deals. Show fans, if you understand, there are systems to help you get to know faster. If you choose to accept them, if you choose to implement them, Go for No. This is a great story. Buy the book. It's like 2 hours on Audible. It's so easy to listen to. And it's a great story about this guy. He's living his life and then he bumps his head. And before you know it, he has we'll call it an awareness of his future self. He meets his future self, lives in the life of his future self, and his future self is different from him. And the one change was that at some point, somebody gave him advice to switch the way he felt around the word no. and he shifted and he went for no. He counted his no's. And anytime somebody said no to him, he got excited. He got lit up to go after the next one, to go after the next one. So he got a lot of yeses because he wasn't paying attention to the yeses. He just did what had to be done, hoping for no's, looking for the next no, seeking them out, hunting for them. Show of hands if you know, you get what you look for. That's right. So if you aim for more no's, the inevitable yeses come through anyway. You talk to enough people, the inevitable yes will always be there. So this is a fantastic book. It was written by Richard Fenton and Andrea Waltz. It's one of those books that Mike Shine loves talking about. He's the keeper of the books, the holistic attorney. He's out right now with Joe Dispenza. He's studying mindset. He's getting himself to the next level. He's in a mastermind. He pays $60,000 a year, and his whole mastermind went out to Joe Dispenza. Show of hands if you understand. Mike's playing at a different level, and he's loving it. He's loving his life. He lived in Rotan this year. I think he's going to live in Spain next year, and he's taking his young kids with him all across this great world, not country anymore. Just he's international, and he'll be speaking at the summit with us. This was last year, 2022, and I apologize. I don't have a picture of Stephen Beaver and Larry Steinhaus, but somehow they ended up on stage last year. So there's a good chance they're probably going to end up on stage this year. You see Doug is there. We're probably going to have Bill Allen, but that was confirmed. Bill Allen will be there this year. And we've had a couple people shift, and we're adding more people onto the roster. 2023, by the way, this event is bigger than last year's event. The goal that Stephen Beaver keeps pushing me towards is 1,000 people in the room. Now, what he keeps saying to me to get there is 3,000 people in the room. Show of hands if you understand, Stephen is maniacal. He's like, let's just go for more no's. Let's just get a whole bunch of people. Let's build a huge community and bring them in. And what I said, we had 200 people last year. I said I could probably put 400 without doing anything, just being, a decent human being, just keeping our community building the way it is. We have a challenge. The room only fits 850 people. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to continue scaling and scaling. We may have to shift to a bigger, better room. Show of hands if you understand. That's okay. Yeah, if you've already got your tickets and hotels already taken care of, don't worry. We're probably going to do, here's my strategy. Probably we're going to do an online virtual. So anybody who just wasn't smart enough to buy their tickets now and get them locked in, they're going to have to sit at their home and watch all of you have fun. Show of hands if you understand. Don't be that person. So the 100 million tickets price already went up. So I apologize if you were slow and you didn't catch the early bird special. For those of you who did, give yourselves a big round of applause. Very smart, very intelligent. The tickets were at that price, by the way. For 9 months, I had the tickets at the early bird special. I know Larry Steinhaus went and just signed up for VIP like right away. I was like, oh, like I'm. Did you, Larry? You did, right? You did, yeah. No.
I believe I did.
Yeah, you did.
I spoke to Dorina and said just whatever. Yes. My credit card had her at the last one. Remember?
That's right. That's right. So we're 117 days out. Larry, on like literally 365 days, was like, give me VIP tickets, because VIP tickets right at the summit were $1,000. Now they're $5,000. So let's give Larry Steinhaus a round of applause. Very intelligent man.
I'm only an intelligent man because I'm friends with you.
Another good play, which I'll be on Larry's in his personal group next Thursday at 7 p.m. We're going to be investor schooling. I'll be talking a little bit about the 100 Millionaire Summit, what's coming up. And I'm very excited about it. And these relationships only happened because I was okay with hearing Larry say no to me if I invited him to the summit. And by the way, I thought he would say no. I thought 100% when I invited Stephen that he would say no to me. And these guys said yes. Let's give these guys a round of applause. It's so cool to be in this mission now with them and moving forward. And I knew Doug would say yes, because Doug loves this community. I knew Mitch Jaworski would say yes, because Mitch loves this community. I knew I could get these guys on stage again. I knew Mike would say yes, because even though he hates being on stage, he loves Alchemist Nation. He loves you. And so this, as we're building this tribe and we're putting people on stage and we're reaching up, we're pulling in different types of players. We're going more heavily on the mindset this year, because I think that's what it takes. And a lot of what we're going to be talking about at the summit is going to be more focused on high net worth individuals and the problems we suffer, so that we can, as a community, serve them better, serve our high net worth friends better, and also become more high net worth, and also for our high net worth folks in the room, become less stressed, to take some of that burden off. I think that as you're coming to the summit, I want you to bring people that you want in your tribe. As you're thinking about, like, who should I bring to the summit? Who do I want to go with? If you go alone, yes, it'll be valuable to you, of course. But if you bring 5 people that you could build with, you bring 10 people that you could build with, then it's going to be unstoppable because you'll all be on the same page for the most, remember the 80-20, 80-20, 80-20, the 1% of the year where you're building your plan together to go and build multi-million-dollar businesses. If each one of you becomes a millionaire, and there's 10 of you, remember what you've built is probably a $10 million business. So fans, if you understand, that means none of you are doing any work. Everybody does what they do. Everybody does what they enjoy. So this year at the summit, we're going to be focusing on building teams that are building millionaires together. The idea is, can we build teams that build 100 millionaires each? Can we build teams across this country in 300 major cities that can build 100 millionaires? We're going to show you what we're doing to do it. We're going to have speakers who've built millionaires before, who are actively building millionaires on stage, showing you what's been working for them this year, showing them how they're increasing their income, how they're increasing their lifestyle based on serving their communities, serving their tribes. Show hands if you don't mind being a community leader, if it means you get to serve and get rich at the same time. So we are actively looking for community leaders. So one ask, since I'm going for no anyway, one ask I will give each and every one of you is, if you know a life coach, if you know a financial life coach, somebody who wants to help people but is not good at marketing, but is a very good caring person who has a financial coaching business, they don't have to be specific to real estate. In fact, it's almost preferred that they don't be. It's almost better that they're more like a Dave Ramsey coach, and we can teach a little bit on the leverage side. So if you know a coach, a life coach, somebody in that financial space, then please send them to Brian Schilling, or you can just comment. I'm going to actually make a post later today on Facebook. You can drop them, tag them in that comment, because it'll be extremely valuable to us to have these community leaders. I'm going to turn them into a community leader. I'm going to make them filthy fucking rich. Is that okay? I have permission to make your friends rich? Excellent. So your life coach friends, we're going to put them into a community. We're going to build it for them, and we're going to surround them with a team, and we're going to ask them to just sell life coaching, but we're going to ask them to do it our way, following the millionaire building process. Show of hands if you understand the process is a process, rules are the rules because they are the rules. You don't change the rules. Can't change the process. Only one way to build millionaires. Names on deeds. Only one way to do it consistently, stably, is to help people buy real estate. So this year at the 100 Millionaire Summit, that's our focus. Bring the right people to the room. Bring business or real estate professionals who want to serve at a higher level. Bring them around you. Be the person who brings them, because when they're traveling with you, when they're there with you, that's when you get the most time to start coming up with ideas. And you do not, by the way, you do not know the ideas that will come out from spending time from lunch with somebody, from taking the walk from the airport to the car with somebody, to the hotel with somebody. These people that you've seen in passing, these business real estate professionals, the lenders, the attorneys, the financial planners, the insurance agents, who all, by the way, need to build communities this year, because that is what all the major companies are doing. All major companies right now are shifting over to community-based marketing, having communities, having tribes, having Facebook groups. Show of hands if you've already kind of seen this. The group's growing. They're spending more time on social media. They're building tribes. They're building followers. This is the marketing of the future. What Alchemist Nation does is literally build the thing that everybody else is trying to figure out, struggling to figure out how to build. And we're doing it with them. We're doing it with you. Show hands if you've found value in this community already. Whether or not you're a leader, whether or not you're a sponsor or a team leader, there's value in it because we care about the individual, and each person is a part of the larger community. Each individual has a place. Each individual has a role. Each one of you is working on building your own net worth, but you also recognize that there are 3 parts to every piece of real estate: the deal, the money, and the labor. So some of you are building on the deal side. Some of you are on the labor side. Some of you are on the money side. And each one gets richer by being a part of every deal that's done. Show of hands if you understand that's how real estate is. Velocity of money, velocity of deals. The more you do, the more you make. Everybody on every part of the deal, as long as you structure it properly and do your deals morally, ethically, and legally, gets to make money. So my rant is over. Sign up for the 100 Millionaire Summit. Lock your tickets in. If you're thinking there will be some sort of deal or discount, there will not, because Black Friday is after the summit. So there are no more deals or discounts. There is only the price. I apologize. You messed up. I did state very clearly where the prices were and what the Black Friday, the early bird special, when it was ending. I talked about it for 2 weeks. I promoted, I told. And if you did not know about me, then that's my fault. So if you're new to the community, I apologize. Let's give everybody who's new a big round of applause. I apologize for not letting you know about the deal when it was a deal. But at the same time, think of it this way. Every person who buys a ticket, you're actually helping me go and find new people just like you. because we take that money and we roll it into marketing. Every dollar that comes into Alchemist Station, we roll into marketing to find new souls to help and build your communities, because it's a tax write-off for me. And it's very important that I keep spending the money so we can keep building this community. Show of hands if you're okay with that. If you don't mind that I serve you and I get a tax write-off. Excellent. Give yourselves a round of applause for being a part of the team. I appreciate you. Thank you for letting me be a decent human being and leverage more without paying taxes. This next session is a Q&A session. So Stephen, I'm going to ask that we keep it super efficient. And I want to get, if we can, 5 to 7 questions. And for each one of you, I know we push really hard to ask questions because it's important. And as Larry Steinhaus knows, as Doug McGurk knows, as Mitch Jorsky knows, if you don't ask questions, you don't know. And if you don't have questions, it's because you haven't been doing things. It's because you haven't come up against something new in your life. And it's probably because you've been sitting in a space of just acceptance and comfort zone and not doing new things. Show of hands if you know that comfort zone is deadly. There's nothing good on the comfort zone. So Stephen, I'm going to ask you to police them and efficiently get through question. And let's give Stephen Beaver a big round of applause. They're all yours.
So real quick, just remember what Walter was talking about, businesses. Real estate is a business. So either you have your own business here, you're working for a business, or you have real estate, which is a business. So I ask any question you want, but I'm just thinking, what is it that's slowing you down so that you can get your business? What is it what does that know that concerns you that you're not getting ahead? First unmute wins.
So I unmuted a little early, so I kind of cheated. Okay. And so I think the question that Galter posed and what you're posing is apropos. And so because of that, I want to put the talk today into practice. And so I want to ask Galter if he could be the MC at my book release event that I'm hosting on November 11th from 1:30 to 4:30 p.m. at Brio's. And so I have the book release. My book was released probably in last November. I'm actually having a real book release so that I can promote Habitat for Humanity, because I'm on the board for Habitat for Humanity, and I also raise funds for them as well. I need a dynamic speaker that can come and introduce me, kind of just MC the room a little bit. We're going to have the mayor of Temple Terrace there, hopefully, because he contributed to my book and a couple other people. And so I want to make it as good as possible. And so I wanted to ask Galter live in public to see if that's a possibility. He could say no, he could say yes, I don't know, but I'm putting it out there. So that's my question.
Roland, is it in Tampa, and will there be cameras?
It will be in Tampa. There will be cameras.
Then yes.
I got 20 more. I got 20 more to go. I got to go get my nose now.
Let's go. And it's after the summit. I will have already crushed it. I'm good with that. Awesome.
Let's give Roland a huge round of applause for stepping out of his comfort zone and doing it in front of everybody. It's like asking a girl to get married and wondering if she really is going to say yes or not in front of the whole crowd. That was awesome. Hey, do you actually have the Amazon link so that people can pre-order that? If you do, put it in the chat.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Get some pre-sales there. Awesome. Next, that's one.
I actually have Roland's book right here. So I've got a signed copy. I got it right here. So it's nice to know authors of books. He wrote the book Rental Property Investing Zen Master. It's a fantastic read. I have only read the last chapter because that's typical of me, Roland. I apologize. But when you get on audiobook, I will listen to the whole thing.
Right on. More no's, please.
I saw Richard Ellison a second ago had his hand up. I know Thurman's always got something.
Bring it on, Richard.
Walter, have you read the last chapter of my book yet?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Hold on. Hang tight, Larry. This one right here.
That's the one. I just want to make sure you read the last chapter, because the last chapter is about you.
No.
You remembered it. but you don't remember it, so you didn't read it. Go back and read it.
It wasn't specifically about me.
It was specifically about people like you.
That's more closer to the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. Just read the title of the chapter. No. Last chapter.
Last chapter. Let's go.
Be a legend.
Be a Legend. In conclusion, Be a Legend by Larry
Legend.
Steinhaus.
Yeah, that's you.
All right, I'm going to go through this last chapter today. I will have read this last chapter today.
Well, good for you, man. Because now it's a Los Angeles Tribune bestseller already. Now go read it.
Steinhaus, round of applause. If you haven't picked up the book, Money Hacks, also not on Audible, waiting for Larry to read it to me at night.
I'll call you on the phone and read it to you, okay?
Get the printed version, and then one of you gets to read the book, record it, and then we'll post that to Audible because Larry doesn't mind. We just need an Audible out there. It's going to be good for the whole community.
Works for me.
I appreciate it.
I got a question.
Go for it.
So I was wondering, what's the one question that people don't ask themselves that they should?
Goddamn.
Ooh, can I jump in?
Go ahead, man.
Absolutely.
Only because that answer is given by Ray Dalio on the regular. That's why I follow him on Instagram. And he's always saying, and there's other people that talk about this. I think even Alex Hormozy has, but basically always asking, that question of what is it that I don't know? So like whatever topic it is and whatever knowledge you have on it, you're always asking like, all right, what about this don't I know? Or what angle am I not seeing? Right. And you figure that out by, talking to people with different perspectives, obviously doing more research, whatever it is. But it's like, what am I not seeing? And it's more specific, especially to investing, because it's like you come up with an investment thesis and you're like, all right, this works because of X and Y. And then at that point, you're like, all right, what am I not seeing? Why would this not work? And that's, especially when you're talking about investing in stocks and stuff. It's like, all right, I believe Tesla is going to go up because of X, Y, and Z. And I have conviction with that. But what am I not seeing? What's the blind spot? Because we all have blind spots. So that's just a question that I was trying to ask myself, specifically with investing. Anytime I come up with a thesis, I'm just like, all right, what am I missing? Because we always have confirmation bias at the end of the day. You have an idea of something, and then you look for the data that supports that, right? If you think Tesla is like the greatest stock in the world, you can find all the reasons that's the greatest stock in the world. So then at that point, what am I missing?
Fantastic. I love that answer, Mitch, because it's true. In the investment world, I will say, what am I missing? And in your personal life, I'll say, what do I want? What do you want? Because most people don't get what they want because they don't know what they want. Most visionaries, most big leaders of companies stagnate, stop, slow down because they stopped wanting something. And I would say to any human being, well, what do you truly want? What would you like to have in your life? And how would you like it playing out? And spend a little more time there. How would you like it playing out? Because we all say, well, I want this, but if this happens, this happens. Well, what would be the ideal scenario? And then ask what you're missing, right? Ask, how do I get there? What is the next step to get there? I don't believe people ask themselves enough what they actually want. They're always hunting and chasing after what other people want for them or what other people want for themselves. But a person who asks themselves truly, genuinely, and looks inside and says, what do I want? And if you recognize that you don't want anything, you've got a problem. And in one of the roadmap calls I've done, well, we're well over 250, probably close to 300 roadmap calls that I've done with millionaires, future millionaires. And the answer always comes out when somebody says, well, this is what I made last year. This is what I made last year. This is what I made last year. And I realize there's a pattern. I'm like, dude, you don't want enough, right? What do you want? Like, how can we get you to want more? What would be expensive that you could go want? And for me, it's always been the down payment on the next house. It's always been that next investment property. It's been that next big deal. It's like, man, I got to go raise $1 million. Like, all right, I guess I want enough to get me out of bed. So, Durbin, I would say, what don't I understand? Like, what am I missing? And what do I want? I'd start with what do I want, and then what do I not understand? Like, what am I not looking at? Great question, brother. Mitch, great answer. Let's give these guys a round of applause. Fantastic.
We have time for one more person that wants to get the answer to solving their life.
Possibly, yeah.
So far, we've hit it every time, so I'm just going to take the odds that we'll be able to do it again. Just a quick question. Raise a hand. Who has everything that they want? Okay. Who wants something? Raise your hand. All right. What is it that you want? Just put it out there. Unmute the mic. Say what you want. Just make it, manifest it right now.
I'm ready to own a motel.
Right
What size?
on.
What size, Larry?
I'm ready to own a hotel.
Hell yeah. What size? How many units are we looking at?
100 plus.
100 plus motel. Let's give Larry Steinos a round of applause. You know somebody who's got 100 plus motel or hotel. Larry's looking to connect.
I am definitely interested. It's my next goal.
Fantastic. It's going down, man. It's going down. Larry, Vinny's been buying hotels. He's been doing it. So if you need a connection, we'll connect you with Vinny and we'll get you at least some sort of maybe he'll just throw you the deals he's not doing. They're too small for him or something. Who knows? Like, why not, right?
Yeah, really.
Let's give Stephen Beaver a round of applause. Keep an eye on our gauges here for our questions. For each of you, as you go out into this weekend, I want you to take something powerful with you, something from today. I know many of you have heard this wealth principle before. This is the 4th season we've been doing the 52 Weeks to Wealth. And many of you have already read Go for No. You've been in sales for a long time and you recognize and remembered this. Just let it sit inside you a little deeper than it did previously. Let it come back to you in a way that revitalizes your business, revitalizes your life. Go for something a little bigger than you deserve, a little bigger than my air quote, you deserve, what you believe you deserve. Go for a little more this week and do a quick video on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram, whatever your platform is where you have the most followers and the most belief system. Put it out there that you're going to manifest this thing. Put it out there. Make your ask to the universe. Now, when you make your ask, please do me a favor and don't sound like a jackass. Don't sound like an idiot. Don't just be like, I want this, like send it to me. I want you to be very clear to tell a story first of why that thing is compelling to you, why that desire is compelling to you. For example, Larry may go out and say, look, as a kid, I've always wanted to own things that were cool, to own things that other people were able to use or that would be important in this world, things that other people could use to enjoy themselves. It's one of the reasons I got into real estate in the first place. That's why I bought the ice cream parlor shop. Now I want to do hotels because I see people going on vacations and traveling and changing their lives via business trips where they get to meet and connect with people they wouldn't otherwise have been able to meet and connect with if they didn't have a place to stay. And to have their own privacy and their own space, their own showers, to have that ability to get out of their own home but still have a home, even if it is just for the night. And I've set my target. I've done some really cool things in the past, by the way. I bought real estate, I bought businesses, and now I'm looking to own a hotel. And this is what I'm looking for. I want to be in X part in Pennsylvania, and I want to have 100 units because I feel like if I'm not serving 100 families, who am I really? This number 100 just in my heart and my soul. It came to me one night in a manifestation. I was on a podcast and this guy was like wearing a shirt that said 100. I said, that's how many units I need. So if you know somebody who has a hotel or is from the area, please, send them my contact information. Show of hands if you understand this, how you tell your story. You tell your story, you make your ask with a story first. Be honest. Larry, was that close? Was I anywhere near?
It's actually, that is, you're dead on, but I'll even add one more part. So when I went bankrupt in 2008, there were so many bankruptcies that they weren't having them in courthouses. They were having them in hotel conference rooms. So I need to close the loop, right? So I went bankrupt in a hotel and now I own a hotel.
Let's give Larry Steinhaus a big round of applause. This mission will not self-destruct, but your business might if you don't take action. So again, I'm going to ask you to go out, have a hook, have a story, and then have your ask at the very end. Your hook is a thing that's super interesting. Start with, just slide into a pain point that you're experiencing, and then shift into agitating the pain point with a story. Push the story, make it compelling, make it real. Do not make anything up. Just be honest with yourself and why you got to this point. The story should be 10, 15, 30 seconds and slide into what you're looking for. Show of hands if you can take action on this. Absolutely. And if it makes you uncomfortable, excellent. Even better. That means you're growing. It means an opportunity is on the other side. This mission, like I said, will not self-destruct, but your business might. if you don't take action. Cheers to your success. When you have a choice, always work with the best. I'll see you in the next one.
Awesome job.
Steven, I'll see you in the next room.